Good morning, children. Welcome back to the science class. Let's continue our chapter Air, Water and Weather. In my last video of this chapter, we discussed about weather and climate, change in weather, changes in temperature, sea breeze, land breeze and states of water. Children, today in this video, we are going to discuss about evaporation and condensation, rain and water cycle, water pollution and purification. So let's start the video. Okay, children, first we will discuss about evaporation means. Children, listen here. Evaporation means the change of water into water vapor is called evaporation. I once again repeat the definition. Evaporation, the change of water into water vapor is called evaporation. Sometimes it is a fast and sometimes it is slow. Next, water evaporates faster when it is windy. We will do one small activity. See here, children. You can see in picture. Take 2 saucer pan. See here, children. Take 2 saucer pan filled with water. You can see in picture. Filled with water. One saucer pan is under the fan. See here. Dish under the fan. Another dish away from the fan. Okay. Think, children, what will happen after few hours? You can see in this picture. What will happen? More water evaporates from the saucer pan placed under the fan. You can see here, children. More water evaporates from the placed under the fan. This one, first one. So, it proves that water evaporates faster when the weather is windy. That is why the wet clothes dry quickly on a windy day. Okay, clear, children? Next is condensation. See here, children, I take one image of bottle image. The change of water vapors into water by cooling is called condensation. It is reverse of evaporation. Clouds, dew, fog, frost and snow are examples of condensation. You can see in picture. The change of water vapors into water by cooling is called condensation. You can see in the image also. I once again repeat the definition of evaporation and condensation. The process by which a liquid changes into its gaseous state is called evaporation. Water vapor on cooling changes back into water. This is called condensation. Okay, clear, children? Next is first one, dew. You can see here, children, in a leaf image. When water vapor condenses on cold objects like grass in the field, dew is formed. You can see here in picture. These water droplets are called dew. On a winter morning, we often notice little droplets of water. You can see in the image. litter water droplets of water on leaves and flowers or objects left outside in the pond. The water vapor in the air around these objects condenses naturally and settle down on their cold surfaces in the form of droplets. These droplets are called dew. Okay, clear children? These droplets are called dew. Dew means water drop. Okay, clear children? Next, second point, snow. When water vapor freezes in the air, you can see in picture. When water vapor freezes in the air, it forms crystals of ice called snow. Snowfall takes place mainly on hill stations in winter. The water vapor in the air freezes and turns into ice crystals known as snowflakes. What is mean by snowflakes? The water vapor in the air freezes and turns into icy crystals known as snowflakes. Okay. Next, third one, fog. Children, fog means what? I will explain you. During winter, water vapor condenses on dust particles present in the air to form clouds very close to the ground. This is called fog. You can see in the image. I take fog image. You can see here. Fog image. During winter, water vapor condenses on dust particles present in the air to form clouds very close to the ground. This is called fog. When the weather is foggy, you cannot see even nearby things very clearly. Very thin fog is called mist. Okay. Next, fourth one, hail. You can see in picture, these are called hail. Sometimes raindrops grow in size and are then frozen to form hard balls of ice called hailstones or hail. You can see here, sometimes raindrops grow in size and are then frozen to form of hard balls round in shape. Balls of ice called hailstones or hail. Next, fifth one, frost. Frost means if the nights are very cold, dew can freeze to form ice. This is called frost. I once again repeat, the frost means if the nights are very cold, dew can freeze to form ice. This is called frost. You can see in picture. This is called frost. Next, rain. The sun's heat causes water in the oceans, seas, lakes and rivers on earth to evaporate into water vapor. The water vapor starts rising up to the sky. This water vapor goes up and cools down at a certain height and condenses to form clouds. You can see here. This water vapor goes up and cools down at a certain height and condenses to form clouds. Okay. The water keeps condensing to form clouds until the clouds become very heavy and cannot bear the load of the water. Water vapor droplets. When this happens, the clouds burn and the water droplets come pouring onto the earth in the form of a rain. You can see in picture. Okay, clear children? Next point, water cycle. Listen here children. The process of evaporation and condensation is a continuous process prevailing in nature. This process is called water cycle. Here water changes into water vapor. Water vapor means gas due to the heat of the sun and then back into water means liquid. Water evaporates from lakes, rivers, oceans and other water bodies and condenses as a rain or snow. Here you can see in the picture. See here children. Condensation, precipitation, evaporation, soil water, transpiration. Okay. I once again repeat the definition of water cycle. The process of evaporation and condensation of water that is constantly going on in nature in a cyclic manner is called water. You can see here children, in a cyclic manner. This is called cyclic manner. Is called water cycle. Here water changes into water vapor. Due to the heat of the sun and then back into water is a liquid. Okay, clear children? Next, water pollution. Children, water pollution means what? I will explain you. Water is one of our basic needs. We need water for our day-to-day activities and more importantly, water for drinking and cooking. Children, water pollution means mixing of soluble and insoluble impurities in water. Definition of water pollution is the contamination of water bodies by throwing harmful substances into them directly or indirectly is called water pollution. I once again repeat the definition. Water pollution, the contamination of water bodies by throwing harmful substances into them directly or indirectly. You can see here children in picture. Harmful substance throwing into them directly or indirectly is called water pollution. Okay. Next, impurities in water. When it rains on mountains and hills, the water flows down and carries with it many impurities. Sometimes water supplied to our homes may have impurities in it. So, the water we get may be impure. It may have two types of impurities. First one is soluble and second is insoluble. First one, soluble impurities. Impurities present in water which cannot be seen are called soluble impurities. For example, germs and salts. You can see here, I take one image. Soluble and insoluble, the substance will dissolve in a liquid. See here, two beaker is there, one beaker is soluble and in another is insoluble. The substance will dissolve in a liquid. Next, insoluble impurities. Impurities present in water which can be seen easily are called insoluble impurities. You can see here children. impurities present in water which can be seen easily are called insoluble impurities. For example, mud, sand and stones. The substance will not dissolve in a liquid and formed precipitate is called insoluble impurities. Next point, purification of water. We must purify the dirty water before drinking and using it. There are many methods to purify it. Now we will discuss one by one. Okay, now we will discuss first method. First method is sedimentation and decantation. This is an old method of purifying water. Children, you can see in diagram here sedimentation. Two beaker is there. Water containing insoluble impurities. This is clear water. Take some muddy water in a beaker. Listen here children. Take some muddy water in a beaker. Allow it to remain undisturbed for some time. See here children. Take some muddy water in a beaker. Allow it to remain undisturbed for some time. The heavier mud particles settle down at the bottom of the beaker. You can see here children in image. The heavier mud particles settle down at the bottom of the beaker. This layer of mud is called sediments. Clear water is left above the layer of mud. You see in second beaker. Clear water is left above the layer of mud. This is mud layer and clear water is left above the layer of mud. This is called sedimentation. Okay, clear children? Next is decantation. Now pour the clear water into another beaker gently without disturbing the sediment of mud. This process is called decantation. You can see here in diagram. Pour the clear water into another beaker. See here children. Without disturbing the sediment of mud. This process is called decantation. Okay, clear children? Next, second method, chlorination method. Adding certain chemicals to water to kill germs is called chlorination. Listen here children. Chlorination means adding certain chemicals to water to kill germs is called chlorination. See here children in picture. This is chlorination diagram. See here in diagram. This is a tap. First sedimentation tank, filtration tank, chlorination chamber and lastly clean drinking water. Adding certain chemicals to water to kill germs is called chlorination. Chlorination is frequently used especially in big water tanks and swimming pools. Okay, clear children? Next is third method, filtration method. These days, most people make use of filters to strain or filter out impurities in water. When water is passed through the filter, you can see here in image. This is filter. When water is passed through the filter, the impurities present in it stick to the filter candle, thoroughly letting clean water pass through. Okay. Next, last method, boiling method. This is also old method of purifying water. See children, last is boiling method. When water is boiled for about 20 minutes, the germs present in it are killed. Boiled water must then be stored in clean vessels and bottles. It is advisable to use boiled water for drinking purpose. See children, when water is boiled for about 20 minutes, the germs present in it are killed. Boiled water must then be stored in a clean vessels. Okay. Next is golden rules for handling water. First point, always use clean vessels with a lid to store water. Listen here children. First one, always use clean vessel with a lid to store water. Second one, use a proper ladle to take out water from the container. Third one, wash your hands before touching the glass and the ladle. Fourth one, always turn the tap off when not in use. Repair leaking taps immediately. Fifth one, washing fruits and vegetables in a big bowl and then using that water for watering plants will be a better idea than to wash them under a running tap. Sixth one, take a shorter shower or fill your bucket with water rather than taking a long shower. These are golden rules. Very important. So students, this was all about the water cycle, water pollution and water purification and golden rules of water. Okay, lesson number 9 completed. In my next video, we will discuss about exercise question and answer of this lesson. Okay, clear children? Thank you children. Stay home and stay safe. Have a nice day.